Alright guys, this is a long playing review for Outlaws on the Amstrad CPC. The game that won the CPC Retro Dev competition last year, and it also had a limited physical release but only sold at the Amstrad Eterno 2 meetup and convention in Spain apparently. But yes, you may remember I recently did a couple of videos covering the CPC Retro Dev 2016 competition, the game creation competition that's run yearly for the Amstrad. And this was the eventual winner, and I thought it really deserved having its own long playing review, as will probably a couple of games from that competition. But this was the winner, and this comes up first from Retrobytes Productions. And now the programmer was Tony Ramirez, who also did Space Moves for 2015's CPC Retro Dev, which also won first place. But most interesting of all is the musician there, Jose A. Martin, who according to CPC Power website did the sound effects and music for several notable games back in the day for Dynamic Software in the late 80s, early 90s. Most prominently the highly regarded AMC Astro Marine Corps and others like Mega Phoenix and Rescue from Atlantis. And their graphics there by Alexino. But this is the only game I found him listed as doing. But anyway, we shall start things up, and if you want to listen to the music in full, you can do at the end of the video after the credits. But this is a single screen shoot 'em up, and we start off with a simple practice session to train your aim. But the music there was fantastic, and I like the little jingles as well. So here we are on level 1, and it plays very, very much like Cabal, if you remember that from the arcades. And basically you move left and right. When you're firing and holding down the fire button down, your character stays still and you can move the gun sight around the screen. But move left and right, of course, to avoid the bullets. And that's it. That's pretty much it. We've got some destructible objects which may reveal power-ups in the form of extra lives and score, pretty much. Excuse me guys, very sorry, I've got a bit of a cough at the moment. And the graphics are absolutely glorious. I mean, these are first-rate graphics on the Amstrad, and they are surprisingly good, considering this is a game that was just entered into a competition. Now we've got some really nice animation on the go. It does slow down a little when there's lots of enemies on the screen. And you'll see later levels that maybe the graphics get a little bit garish and maybe hard to make out some of the bullets. But at least the bullets are sort of quite a large yellow circle, the black circle around it, so for it to stand out. So the graphics there generally have been very, very well done indeed, of course. I think that's probably the biggest standout feature in this game. And it's such a fun, short little blast. It is really, really good fun. I've always enjoyed games like Cabal, was it NAM 1975, that was also in the arcades. And considering the unfortunately rather average to poor conversion of Cabal to the Amstrad in the late 80s, and how poor this was, and compared to this, wow, this is light years ahead of the Cabal conversion. So it definitely deserves its own long playing review video. As you can see, it's going to be quite a short video. There's only a few levels, but I believe the programmers are already working on a sequel. And also, there is a updated version of this game called Outlaws Reloaded, which apparently has some bug fixes, even though I didn't really encounter any bugs. And apparently has an improved frame rate too. But this is great fun shooting action there. Obviously there's some destructible objects I've already mentioned. It is actually really quite a tough game as well, even though there's only a few levels. But it's nice to see like an... Oh, I just died there. Got 3 lives. And obviously there, just below the gun and the bottom section of the game, you can see a number there counting down, 23, 22. That is the number of enemies left to kill before you can move on to the next level. Sometimes you might be able to find a spot that you can sort of stay in, but it's rare to find it, and I think staying there on this level just avoids those guys in the window. So I'll just experiment in there, but to be honest, it's probably a good idea to be running around as much as possible, because I'm kind of trapped in the corner there. So I was taking a bit of a risk, but there's no one easy way to beat the game. Yeah, sound effects are really good, and as is the music and little jingles. The title screen music, as I've already mentioned, you can listen to in full after the credits at the end of the video, because that is excellent. Everything about this game is first rate. Perhaps my only suggestion as a constructive criticism and feedback would be to have a little bit more variety in the gameplay. Perhaps some different weapon pickups. Perhaps maybe some larger enemies or a boss. Maybe start with that before expanding it further into another game. Also, it takes a little bit of getting used to moving the crosshair and targeting things right. Initially, when you first play it, I have to admit that I thought the movement of the crosshair was really bad. It perhaps doesn't look too bad in the video. That's because I've got used to it. After a bit of practicing and getting used to it, actually, it kind of just clicks and works. It doesn't move particularly as smooth as, say, Operation Wolf, which is a very similar game. And even maybe not as kind of smooth as Cabal. It's hard to remember, but once you get used to it, suddenly it just sort of everything sort of works and clicks and goes, ah, right, I've got it now, I've got the hang of it. But it moves just about the right speed. The biggest crime in a game like this would be to have the crosshair moving far too slowly for you to target enemies in time. So I guess that's the kind of compromise. And whilst there is a bit of slowdown happening, it's nowhere near as bad as, say, the line of fire conversion by US Gold, which was terrible. Oh, there's a coke hang there I shot, which gave me an extra life. I mean, line of fire, talking about that conversion, it's a terrible, terrible game. The crosshair moves, and targeting crosshair, sorry, moves way too slowly. And when too much is happening on the screen, the whole game chugs, and you're just unable to hit anything. Absolutely terrible. This may feel it's on the edge of chugging, but it doesn't. It just holds itself and is still really playable. And okay, here we go, our bonus level here. Oh, bonus life, that's what we were looking for. And I'm level 7 now. I think it's 9 levels in total, I believe. I hope I'm not wrong. It's actually, I recorded this footage actually quite a while ago. And then that will be the end of it, of course. I really hope they do actually produce a sequel to this, because it's really good. And it's a shame that I can't seem to find anywhere selling the physical copy of the game. I think, as I mentioned earlier, it was just sold at a Spanish sort of meet-up and retro gaming convention. Amstrad 2. I can't find it listed on the website for sale. But I would love to buy a physical copy of this game. Certainly if there's like a sequel which is like this but massively expanded, I would be buying it on cassette and disc and stuff. So Retrobytes Productions, listen, there are quite a few companies out there that will help you produce tapes and discs and packaging and sell it for you. So it may be well worth your time doing it. Kind of the quality of game to be just entered into a competition is kind of like staggering, especially the few of the other entries in the top 10. Personally, I would have probably not entered it in the competition and just sold it as a brand new game for the Amstrad and made a little money for it. But But it's really nice to see that happening, that people like Retrobytes Productions, Tony Ramirez and friends are you know, doing it for the love of it and doing it to produce a really cool game for the Amstrad with no other ulterior motive or purpose than that, and you know, helping support a competition like CPC Retro Dev. So check out the 2 previous videos on my channel for CPC Retro Dev. They are quite long videos, but actually I think they're well worth watching, because the first video covers games from, I think it's 35 up to the top 10, and some of them are quite, let's be nice and just say that they're quite unfinished. It was quite an amusing watch, apparently. And then the top 10 video, which I did a few weeks ago, the quality of games in that is staggering, really, for a competition. And the competition was, of course, judged by people like the Oliver twins, who did the Dizzy games and things like that. So it is quite a big deal. And hopefully I might actually be involved in some part of the judging next year. I have been asked, so you know, we shall see what happens with that. But here we are on the final level. I have to admit that perhaps the graphics get a little bit garish and hard to make out at times. This might hurt your eyes a little bit playing it. And it's now getting really fast and furious. Look how quickly the enemies are popping out and running and firing bullets at you. Another thing would be to have like a dive or roll mechanic, like in NAM 1975. I don't think Cabal had one. And maybe you can't really do grenades in this game because it's the Wild West, but maybe you could have like Molotovs or something like that as a second weapon you could use. Perhaps some more destructible objects and buildings and stuff like Cabal would be cool in a future game. Who knows? But very, very near the end now. I've got 10 more enemies to kill. Seem to have found a nice spot there. Oh, got hit. Got 1 more life. Told you this was tough. Oh, I did struggle. Oh! Last life. I did struggle to beat this. And I'm really good at games like Operation Wolf and shoot 'em ups like that. But we've done it. There we go. A new period of peace is coming, but Daniel Colt will soon be back. See you in Outlaws 2. Well, apparently it's coming. Oh, there is a big backstory to the game involving a character called Daniel Colt that you're controlling, but it's a little bit daft and long to read out. So I will leave it there. But there you go, guys. I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10, all things considered. Because it's a homebrew game and it's fantastic. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and see you on more videos, probably from the CPC Retro Dev competition too. I just want to say a really big thank you to all my new Patreons. Your support is hugely appreciated. So if you want to help support the channel and more new videos from me, please check out patreon.com/Zypho. Cheers. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please click a like below, leave a comment, and also subscribe if you haven't already. And over that way, there's another video for you to check out. Zypho, out.